Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tanj here. It is Monday, the 9th of December. That means it's time for Mindset Mastery Monday. G'day and thank you for joining me. I'm a peak performance specialist for real estate and property professionals, everything that I do. G'day, Kate. How are you? How are your legs from yesterday? Good morning, Patty. Everything that I do is designed to give you access to being happy and deeply fulfilled in all areas of your life. Good morning, Christine. How are you? Josh, good morning. Great to see you here. The Holistic Home is in the house. Thank you, the Holistic Home. Priscilla is also joining us. How are you guys? Type in, if you're not driving, one word to describe how you feel right now. I am feeling like blessed. I had the most extraordinary weekend. Amazing dance workshop ritual Saturday. And then yesterday I spent it with Kate and Rob. Kate Ashton from, or known as the Real Estate Kate, or Real Estate Kate, please, and Rob Ferguson. And g'day, Julianne. And we did a beautiful 20-kilometre bike ride. Then I went and had a picnic with my eldest daughter. G'day, Kelly. Great to have you here. Good morning, Greg. Always wonderful to see you as always. And then I went and had a 2-hour massage. And then I had another girls' date with my youngest daughter last night. So I'm feeling happy and full and present and here and ready to serve. So type in, hi Kelly, how you're feeling. One word to describe how you're feeling whilst I share with you the context for today. Energized is Julianne. Bloody awesome. So just to give this context, as I said, g'day Brendan Commercial Collective. Great to see you here bright and early. Everything that I do, I come on here live for free, 8 a.m. Mondays, 8 a.m. Fridays, to just give you whatever I can in 25 minutes to help you get clear about your goals, clear strategies to take actions, and elevate your mindset or your state so you can achieve your dreams. Patty's hungover. Oh, Patty, 'tis the season to be jolly, so pack a Barocca in your bag. Or in your Christmas stockings, honey. It's time to happen. Okay, Kelly's grateful, wonderful, good to hear. So, so everything is for you. So if you can get one thing today to really increase your chances of achieving your success, then I've done my job. So today's theme is don't let the ding affect your Kerching. In some of my coaching last week, in every week, time management is a really big theme. And I was actually having a conversation with Kate and we were talking about distraction. And, you know, I get distracted too at times and I really have to practice what I preach. So everything I'm sharing with you today, I want you to know I practice this religiously. Some days I get it really right. And there are some times, rarely now, where I drop my standards. So don't let the ding affect your Kerching. What it really means is, are you letting the ding of social media, the ding of your email, the ding of a text get you off path or off track to the action and the activity that you were doing at the time? Good morning, Lou. Great to have you here. Are you at the mercy of your inbox, your phone, other people's agendas? And are you finding yourself saying, I don't have time, I wish I had time, I don't have time. Yes, I never have enough time. Well, here's what I know for sure as a peak performance coach. You and I have the same 24 hours in the day that everybody else has. And the only thing, time, if I gave you more time, it's not going to make a difference. If I gave you another day in the week, if I gave you another week in the year, you'd fill it with the same stuff. Typically why people have that experience is they overpromise, and then they can't fulfill their own commitments, or they're people pleasing, which means their stuff goes last. Does anyone relate to that, by the way? Or you just don't have your time scheduled for, as well as you could. So I want to share with you today some really simple insights, tools and strategies and definitions that, no kidding, if you apply, I promise you, if you apply them, you will have a breakthrough. Because I know, relatable, thank you. I know that dreams and hopes and goals and aspirations and ideas inside of you that are busting to be birthed, that are busting to come out and see the light of day and contribute to others. And it's not going to happen if you are at the mercy of time. So I'm going to use what I always use, which is the 3 steps for success as an architecture to unpack this distinction. And that is raise your standards, simplify your strategies, and elevate your state. Now, let's look first of all at raise your standards. Definition is decisive. So, hello, is it Diane? Great to have you here again. definition is decisive. So what is your current definition of time? You'll be in two places, empowered or disempowered. Empowered would be, I have all the time I need to do what I want because I'm empowered with my time, or I don't have enough time. I know most people are here. And if your definition of time is, I don't have enough time, I never have enough time, I can't complete what I need, then your ego, your inner saboteur, is addicted to being right about that belief. And no strategy, no discipline, no insight, no tip is going to make a difference. It's a waste of my time and yours if I go straight into strategies. If your definition of time is you don't have enough. Does that make sense? This is really, really important because I want you to have access to the best year you've ever had, both personally and professionally. And good morning, Diane. And if you don't have a breakthrough with time, how are you going to be able to do that? So number one, check in with yourself. Good morning, Amy. What is your definition of time? Is it empowered or is it disempowered? And I'd love you to type it in. Would you say, and you can type E or D just to make it really quick, is your current definition of time, I have all the time that I need and I'm masterful with my time and I manage it well, or I don't have enough time and I wish I had more? And it doesn't matter what it is, just name where it is. Number one. Now, you have to shift that definition. Good morning, Fairy Mary. How are you, my love? Let's have a chat later today. I'll call you when I'm driving, of course. So, empowered or disempowered? Now, as I said before, no strategy is going to make a difference. We need to shift you from being disempowered in your definition of time to being really empowered in your definition. And how does that look? Looking beautiful this morning. Oh, Diane, I'll take it. Thank you, my love. I appreciate that. It's going to be like 37 here in Melbourne. So, yeah, I don't have enough time, but I don't manage it well. Great. Thank you for your honesty. The holistic home. Again, if you look at that, that's not really an empowered definition. So you have enough time. I just don't manage it well. Be careful what you say, for you are listening. So great that the first half of that, you believe you've got enough time, but notice the second part is I don't manage it well. Well, guess what? You get to be right about that. You absolutely get to be right that you have enough time, you just don't manage it well. So no strategy, no discipline, no tip for success is going to make a difference to you. Does that make sense? We have to shift the disempowering definition of time to an empowering one. Like, I have enough time, or I'm learning to be better with my time, or I have all the time that I need. When you start programming your brain to be empowered and resourceful with the resources you have available, you'll get access to better choices, better decisions, and better thinking, okay? So the holistic home, are you willing to give up the belief that you don't manage your time very well? Keep the belief that you have enough time and start telling yourself you're learning how to be more effective with your time. And today you're going to learn some ways to do that. Would you be willing to do that? Our friends on Facebook, do me a favor. Please type in whether you're watching this live or you're watching it record and let me know. Are you E, empowered with your time, or D, disempowered? So if we go back to the 3 steps for success, number one, awesome. Number one, your definition is decisive. Shift from an disempowered to an empowering definition. How do you do that? You literally make a decision to start telling yourself something more empowering. And it's just as simple as that. Now, does it happen automatically? No. Is it a practice? Yes. You have to literally train your brain to think differently around time. Start telling it a much more positive story, or a better story. The second thing is you've got to have a why. We hear it all the time. Why is the new black? But literally, if you don't know what your why is or what you're trying to achieve, thank you. We've got a few here, a few Ds, a few Es on Facebook. Hey, Calm Star, great to have you here as well. Disempowered. Thank you, Amy, for being honest. I really want you to listen like you're going to get something for yourself today, because this could be a game changer for you. Even if it's just one little step that you take, one little thing morning that you implement, it's going to help you go leaps and bounds. I love it. I want you and all of you to time watch this. So change your definition from disempowered to empowered. How do you do that? You literally tell yourself a different story, but you're going to need to do that for at least 28 to 30 days and then some. Because your neurological pathways in your brain are hardwired and fired to believe that you don't manage your time or you don't have enough time. And it will create distraction, and it will look for evidence, and it will have you make choices of spending your time with other people and doing other things that do not propel your dreams forward. Does this make sense? Can you give me a hell yeah with an emoji or a yes or whatever here on Instagram and here on Facebook if you understand what I'm saying? So shift your definition from disempowered to empowered by thinking and speaking more positive definitions of time. Like, I have all the time I need. I'm getting masterful with my time. Time is timeless. You want to say. The second is you started saying before, you need to have a reason why your time matters. If you're just waking up, opening your inbox and just responding to emails like most people do, then you are at the mercy of other people's agenda. Little creatures, setting boundaries with saying no to things that use up my time. Hell yes. Do you know why? Fairy Mary and everybody else, thank you for saying that. Folky Dokie, that's a cool name. Live, D for distracted. Yes, thank you. Makes perfect sense. Thanks, Amy. Do you know why we people please and give our time away? It is because we are seeking validation. We want love and connection with others. And we think that if we make them happy, if we do things for them at the expense of ourselves, that's going to make us feel valid and validated and receive connection and love. But it really doesn't, if it doesn't serve you. Hi, Jasmine Scott. Great to have you here. Kate Ashton. Live with earpods, ran into Woolies to get something before going into office, got an appraisal at self-serve checkout. Bloody awesome. Of course you did. Winner, time management, learning, shopping, prospecting at the same time. Yes, it's called work-life blend. I don't like the term work-life balance. Work-life balance means you've got to rob Peter to pay Paul. It's a blend. Some days you've got to work longer. Sometimes you can go home. Sometimes you can go to the kids' ballet. Sometimes you just can't. But better not crack the whip, better wave the wand and do the best you can with the time that you have. Hey, Sarah, great to have you here. So we've talked about definition is decisive. We've said you need to have a why. That's really the main thing about raising your standards. Change from disempowered to empowered and have a clear why. Because if you are just waking up, as I said before, opening your laptop or your phone, scrolling through your emails, and then you're just starting to respond, you are fulfilling other people's agendas. Have a look for yourself. Are you noticing yourself doing that after you've scrolled up, down, left, right on social media? So the second step for success is simplify your strategies. Here are some strategies around how you can hack in to productivity and time management. Number one, the best strategy I know is an intentional week. You've heard of ideal weeks before. You've heard me talk about them before. If you follow or watch, you know I call them now intentional weeks. I don't believe in ideal weeks. It sounds like too much pressure to get it really right. I like the idea of an intentional week. What are you intending this week? What do you intend for your health, your wealth, your family, your friends, your projects, your relationships, your fun, your joy, your lifestyle, your future? What are you intending? And is your schedule, is your diary reverse engineered with the time that you need to respectfully give those things the airtime that they need to blossom and grow? And I promise you, most of you probably don't. When I coach and I surprise my clients by saying, share your screen with me and let's open up your Outlook inbox. In some cases, they are saying, I don't have enough time. And then when I look at their schedule, you can see an electronic tumbleweed go through the timeline of their week because they have not told their diaries what they're doing, and then you just react. So be clear about what it is you want to achieve in the standards for yourself and all the spokes in your wheel of life, and then spend the time creating your basic template of when do you go to the gym, or when do you meditate, or when do you do yoga, when are you prospecting, when are you doing appointments, if you're a leader, when are you meeting with your team, when are your one-on-ones, when do you have chill time, when are you educating and inspiring yourself. Hopefully Mindset Mastery Monday and Rapid Fire Friday are in your schedule, or you put them in. When do you do what you know you need to do to have the results that you desire? And if you're not doing it, then you're not going to achieve it. But here's the trick. Most people say to me, Tanja, ideal weeks don't work. Intentional weeks don't work. They do work. It's we don't work them. A basketball works when you play with it and bounce it and shoot it through a hoop, but it doesn't work just sitting there on their own. You have to use it. And remember, it's about seeking progress, not perfection. Too many people try to get their intentional week right and perfect. And if it's not perfect, then they can't use it. Progress is better than perfection. Hey, Sarah, great to have you here. And Brooklyn, thanks for jumping on too. So I want you to share with me, please, if you will, what are you hearing for yourself already before I go into more strategies? Have you got a disempowered definition? You need to change it to empowered and have that as a practice thought. Do you not have a clear why or what you want to achieve for yourself? And are you at the mercy of other people's emails or the ding of social media and your phone? Now, and do you have an intentional week? Do you open up a calendar the things that matter to you most, whatever you determined? So you must have an intentional week and you must use it. Remember to include your personal and professional commitments in here and make sure it is set up for success. Hey, who have we got? Angela, great to have you here. Playing the victim to my ego. Great again. Thanks for your honesty, holistic home. You're so beautiful in your truth. Need to put in place an intentional week. Jasmine, please, honey. Otherwise, you're just going to have a whole bunch of potential percolating inside you with nowhere to go. And that's just going to encourage you to be right about you can't achieve what you desire, or you're not good enough, or whatever it is that's running that, you know. So really invite you to take some action there. I don't have a clear why and I'm unsure how to get it. Oh, beautiful. Okay, Kelly, tune into what you love. What would you do if what would you do for work even if you didn't get paid? That you give your to experience. Hey, Michelle, great to have, oh, Kate, great to have you here. Oh, I'm not sure if it's Kate Michelle or Michelle Kate. I'll say Michelle Kate because that's the way it's written. We're talking about how to be effective with time management. Now, make sure you've got your personal and your professional time allocated there and set yourself up for success, meaning we looked at one of my clients' intentional weeks last week, and there were actions but no admin time. So what the impact of that was they weren't prospecting. And they weren't prospecting because in their prospecting time in their intentional week, they were doing admin because they hadn't had any admin time allocated. So set it up for success. Great. Thanks, Michelle. Good morning, honey. Great to see you. Oh, I know who you are. Of course. Good morning, honey. So please don't just put, oh, you're prospecting in appointments and then fill it with all great work stuff and then not make the time. Like, when do you check emails? When do you respond to them? So, and the other question I want to ask you, when you're working, I can't use my phone because it's there, but when you're working and someone rings, do you just let it interrupt? Do you just, if you're working on a project and you hear a ding of an email, do you just go and look at it? Do you know most people do? And do you know why? I used to do this too. I don't do it anymore. Sometimes I do, but I'm really good at practicing this distinction now. It's dopamine and serotonin. See, and that's why Instagram have stopped the view of followers on posts, because the level of anxiety, worry, and depression, especially in young people, tweens and teens, was catastrophic, to the point where counselors and psychologists and therapists were doing significant amounts of work, because every time someone says, oh, and they like a post and they follow you, or you get an email, you get an energetic rush. You get a dopamine serotonin hit. It's like a drug. And so we want those good feels. We want to know, oh, is that new business that's coming in on the email? Or is that someone ringing to confirm that I've got the listing? So, or is that guy or girl going to call me? I am really disciplined with my time. When I'm working, I'm working, and if social calls come through, I just don't answer them. So check in with yourself. Hey, George. Hey, Greg. Great to have you here. Some fellas in the house. I love that. Are you just reacting and responding to all the people that are pulling strings at you, or are you being masterful with your time and learning to say no? That is what Fairy Mary suggested before. She's really learning to set boundaries and say no. It's critical. I'd love to hear from you. Do you find it difficult to say no and set boundaries with people? Is that something that you struggle with? So going back to setting yourself up for success, Diane saying, I'm going to empower rather than be overwhelmed, intentional rather than responsive. Yes. Amen to that, sister. Hey, the healthier, curvier gal. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Hey, George. Hey. So What else can I share with you? Set it up for success, plan your personal and professional. I've got my gym time, I've got my meditation time, I've got time with the kids, I've got time for myself. I actually use Outlook and I color code all the time. So at a glance, I can see my week and I can see where the majority of my time is going. It's very easy. Hi, LeeAnn Morris, great to have you tune in. The Healthier Curvy Girl says, yes, especially with my mum who guilt trips with her illness. Oh, I can feel a trigger here. Listen, my love, if I can offer you something, okay, take it or leave it. Consider your mum doesn't guilt trip you. Your mum is doing what your mum does. It is your choice to feel guilty or not. People cannot make you feel anything without your consent or permission. So what I can hear is you love your mum, you want to be there for her, she has particular needs, and you haven't, and I say this with love, try it on in the fitting room of life, take it or leave it, as I said. You have the choice to overextend yourself. You have the choice to set up boundaries and clear communication around what you will and won't do for her. You have the choice to honor yourself. I just want to remind you, your mum, and this is for everyone, I'm just providing some insight here, your mum doesn't make you feel guilty. All of you, other people don't make you feel anything without your consent. I used to say, oh, my kids make me angry. No, they don't. That's my funk. If I'm saying something and they're not doing it, I'm not getting the result that I want, they're not making me angry. Anger is my response to whatever they're doing. Does that make sense? So I really hear what would be great for you is setting up some boundaries, shifting your definition, because guilt is a choice. And by the way, guilt, I've talked about this before, is the low vibration we can hang out in guilt and shame and resentment. We will lower the frequency of our immune system, and that's when we get sick, and that's where we attract illness or get colds or viruses. So I hope that provides something to you. And you know, I really get you love your mum and you want to be there for her, but healthy boundaries, learn to say no, thank you, and get comfortable being uncomfortable, putting yourself first. That's a big one for many people. The Healthier Curvy Gal is saying 100%. Thank you for being open for that. You know, it's really, yeah, guilt is overrated for sure. Michael Ninchke in the house. You'll love this conversation, Michael. We're talking about productivity and time management hacks. Actually, Michael, do you want to post in here Airtable, which is a time management planning tool software that Michael uses with his team down in South Australia that saves hours and time. Feel free to check that out. Michael Cooney in the house. Good morning, my friend. Team Tanj have been reaching out to you, my friend, so feel free to respond if you want to have a chat. We are talking about productivity and time management hacks. So if you've missed the beginning, please watch the record, because this is the stuff that's going to help you fulfill the things that matter to you most. So we've talked about raising your standards, shifting from empowering to disempowering, and getting clear about your why. We've talked about some simple strategies, being having an intentional week. There you go. Michael Lynch is going, absolutely. Airtable is amazing. Check it out. Michelle is saying the first uncomfortable no is the hardest. It's a practice, but wow, does it feel amazing when you know muscle is strong. When your no muscle is strong. Well said, Michelle. We don't say no thank you to things and people because we are seeking validation and we want love and connection, but then we get resentful that we don't have any time left to do what matters most to us. That's a choice. Well said, Michelle. So get comfortable being uncomfortable, saying no thank you. And you know what I love about saying no? It took me years to establish this. It's clean, it's true, and it leaves no room for resentment or frustration because it's your truth. And I truly believe the truth will set you free. When you honor your truth, when you say no, when you mean no and not yes, you're not creating an energetic disconnect, because I promise you, people will feel when you say yes, and then you're resentful, or you don't show up, or you lack integrity of fulfilling your promises. Hey, Melba74, wonderful to have you here. Well said, Michelle. Now, here's the deal with simple strategies. We've got an intentional week. We've made sure we've reverse engineered time for personal and professional. We've set ourselves up for success, making sure that you make time for admin. Owen Davis, great to have you tune in. Thank you, brother. You have to be willing to practice excellence. This is where people quit. Because when we're practicing something new, it's not innate, it's not habitual yet, and it's certainly not, we're not in confidence or mastery. So if you lack the discipline around managing time, you've got to give yourself more time to hang out in the practice of working with an intentional week. Seek progress, not perfection. Review it at the end of the week and go, did that work? Did I have enough admin time? Did I fulfill my prospecting time? If my schedule said prospecting, was I actually prospecting, or was I on the phone doing CMAs, walking the dog, talking to people, having a coffee, shopping? Like, really, are you doing what you designed to do? And are you being responsible and honest with yourself? We must be willing to be disciplined and focused and be straight, but just review it at the end of the week and see if that process and strategy is working for you. And here's the biggest one, as I started saying before. Bloody turn off all distractions. If you're working on a CMA, turn your phone off, turn the emails off. Do you know why real estate agents are so reactive? Is because we come from scarcity. We think we have to be, generally speaking, not everyone, have to be contactable and answerable 24/7 because we don't want to lose that listing or lose that deal and have that go to the competition. You can teach people how to treat you by what you stop, what you allow, and what you reinforce. And if you are trying to get work done, especially leaders watching this, I know there's a few of you on here, and someone comes into your office and you respond to an email and then the phone rings, I want you to imagine a drone in your office or a camera and just notice how reactive you are to everybody else's agenda. And you need to be more responsive, responsible for your time, responsible for saying no, responsible for making time to follow up those things so things don't fall through the cracks. Turn off all distractions. The brain typically can only concentrate for something for 45-minute chunks. So before it starts getting bored and looking actively for something else. So I invite you to set your stopwatch for 45 minutes or your phone and, just focus and be disciplined on doing that one thing and train yourself like Pavlov's dog. Then get up, go for a coffee, get a tea, bathroom stop, walk around the block, something, and then get back into action, especially when it comes to prospecting. Turn off the ding, otherwise it will affect your Kerching. And as I said, at the end of the week, review and revise. So we've covered raise your standards, simplify your strategies, and now let's get to the piece called elevate your state. This is how you show up physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to your day, to your week will determine the direction of your dreams and how fulfilled they are. So have you physically had enough rest? So then you're really productive with the time that you've had. Are you mentally clear? And the T's and dot the I's so you're not overwhelmed. By the way, something really big that will impact your time that's just dropped in as a reminder is if you've got a lot of incomplete stuff like tax to be done, a car to be cleaned, spare rooms that are a hot mess. Hey, Stephen Bailey, I was just thinking about you guys before, wondering where you were. Lovely to have you here. If you've got a whole bunch of incomplete stuff, conversations to be had, bills that need to be paid, filing to do, I promise you that's going to impact your energetic relationship with time because you'll always feel like you're stuck in the past. Does that make sense? Do you know when you have a backlog of shit to do, you feel overwhelmed? The best thing you can do is get that stuff complete your tax, or at least get an ATO tax payment program going on if you're in Australia. Complete those, some spare room done, fill that spa, whatever you're planning to do. Don't overpromise and undercommit because you'll feel like a failure. Just chunk things away and you get that unbelievable sense of completion, and then you're back in your empowered state rather than overwhelmed and sucked in the vortex of the past because you've got too much shit from the past in your future and in your present, then you can't create. Does that make sense? Please let me know. What are you hearing for yourself here on Facebook and here on Instagram? What can you hear for yourself? So physically, are you getting enough sleep to be productive with the time that you have? Mentally, have you cleaned up the past and have you got things signed off, or have you got things to complete and restore integrity to? That'll increase your relationship with time. Emotionally, this is the biggest one. Are you worried and anxious about time, about your actions, about the past or the future? If you are, you're not present. And if you're not present, forget being powerful, purposeful, and potent with the time that you have, because you will be all over the place. So be kind to yourself. Let go of the shit that weighs you down from the past. It's just a really good excuse why not to be extraordinary now. Stop worrying about stuff in the future that hasn't even happened yet. That's just a really good excuse to not be brave and courageous and take that step forward. The biggest thing that stops us from using our time wisely is A, we don't feel good enough. B, we're afraid of people judging us, and we're afraid of being seen. Excuse me, I've just got to plug my power in. My battery was low. And we're afraid to be judged. We're afraid to stuff up. We're afraid of what people think of us. And that is one of the biggest reasons we're not brave and courageous with our time. Amy's like, yes, be in the moment. So much self-sabotage. I didn't realize how much this is a mindset. It's all mindset. You know, there's a great quote that travels around the globe that Beyonce has the same amount of hours in the day. Now, Beyonce has a big budget now and a whole team of people, but she only got that result by who she was being with her time. Lady Gaga talks a lot about her first earlier shows. Every ounce of money that she got from the pub gigs, she would just straight away invest back in the shows to make it bigger and better and get props or lights or something extra. She never paid herself. She invested in herself. So where are you not investing in yourself with a good state of mind? Where are you letting the past and the future sabotage the success of now? I promise, if emotionally you're not clear, and you're just in the sediment of those things, you won't use your time effectively. So well said. Stop the ping. It's a massive and huge, gigantic point. Please don't be at the effect of the ding of your inbox, your phone, and your social media, because that will affect the Kerching of your dreams and your future. So many new strategies, Diane says. Great. Pictures by Pauline. Thanks for tuning in. Be in the moment, as I said before, Amy reminds us to. So, and then spiritually, if you don't have a plan, you've got a disempowered relationship with time, you're worried about the past and the future, you're saying yes to people when you really mean no, you're not willing to be comfortable being uncomfortable, good morning, then you're spiritually not going to be fulfilled. So that's the impact that your experience of being a human being floating on this rock in space with fleeting time to make the best of our lives. You'll just go to your grave with your potential intact. And I said this last week. Wayne Dyer said, don't die with your music still in you. Time is the biggest resource we have to make magic happen on earth for ourselves and others. Get interested in yourself. Stop people pleasing. Stop saying yes when you truly mean no. Set yourself up for success. Seek progress, not perfection, because perfectionism is a strategy of the ego just to avoid getting into action and gaining momentum. Greg, investing in myself. That's me. It's new, but it's so good. Hallelujah. Yes, Greg, you have a big heart. You give a lot to others. Look at the success you've achieved for others and other businesses over the past. Imagine if you took a percentage of that and invested in yourself. What would be possible for health, lifestyle, travel, relationships, joy, new experiences, magic, wonder, all these things that we deserve. Amy, thank you for this guidance and insight. You're very welcome, my love. So that's my invitation for you today. Don't let the ding affect your Kerching. Don't let life, the inbox, the phone, social media get in the way of you fulfilling your potential. Use it. G'day, James. Great to have you here, my friend. Use it as a tool to elevate your state. Already. I won't go over them again, but I invite you to watch this again. Good morning, James. And if you're a leader, please share this with your people. Listen, principals in the room, your people are your biggest asset and liability. They're the most expensive line item in your P&L. And I know, because of the work that I do, that you leaders are not getting maximum return on human investment of your people because you haven't set them up for success. Diane, I have a whole lot of backing. I will block out some time to get shit done. Also, time for the present. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for engaging, and thanks for listening and doing something with it. And that's a really good point, Diane. Please allocate some time after today to sit down and set yourself up with an intentional week. And, if you need a hand with that, DM me or write it in the comments. Really, we can link in our Facebook post. I think it might be available on my Instagram menu in my bio. If not, we'll put it in there today. So time is precious, my friends. And as they say, this moment is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Thank you for being generous and sharing your precious time with me this morning. I hope you got some insight around how to not let the ding affect your Kerching and therefore your lifestyle and your fulfillment of your dreams and your future. Please let me know what you choose to do with this and tag a friend who you know will get some great value out of watching this too. I love you. I love you for spending your time with me. Remember, of course, as always, 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. I'll be here for Rapid Fire Friday, where I just reflect on some of the key one-on-one coaching themes for the week and share my top tips and strategies for you. So I love and appreciate you. And finally, in the words of Maya Angelou, as always, remember, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Flo, thanks. You needed this. I'm so happy. Amy, me too. Oh, awesome. Great. You're welcome, Calmstar. Any questions before I wrap up? Well, it's gone for 35 minutes. I'm mindful of your time. Please also remember, Mindset Mastery Monday. Listen, it's all for you. If you've got a question, if you've got an issue, challenge, or concern that you need support with, let me know. Write to me at tanja@tmjcoaching.com.au. Send me a DM. Send me a DM on Facebook. I'm here for you. I will answer it completely anonymously. I will not say who you are, where you're from, but I'll give my best A to your Q. So don't stay there stuck and don't sit there being oscillating. Reach out and let's get some stuff clear so you can have an amazing 2020 and beyond. Have a magic Monday. Have a phenomenal week. Stay present in this festive, crazy, silly season. And when everyone is winding down, don't forget, you can ramp up and choose to keep connecting and be of service to people. So come January, February, you've got some great listings ready to rock and roll for the new decade. I love you. I look forward to your company. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mwah. Go be great. See you soon. Bye-bye to our friends on Instagram. Ciao to our friends on Facebook. Have a great day.